Cheers, I do, buckaroos. How the heck are you? As I fiddle with my playlist here. Let me pull up the website here. Tie and Timber. So I picked up a 3 crowler IPA pack. It was the Colorado IPA, the Mimoski, and their other one. Jinx and the Wizard, I think. I thought the Juicy Brewski was one of them, but I was wrong. I think that's what I mentioned in the video yesterday. I got them confused until I looked at it here. A Colorado IPA. Let me show you the crowler. This is Colorado IPA. I've got some poured nicely. It pours a deep golden. I want to read just a touch from their website here, as I got some Legs Diamond in the background. Some music from my youth. Anyway, Colorado IPA, 6.3%. Our spin on the West Coast style IPA. We put together a grain bill with a focus on allowing hops to shine while maintaining a perfect balance with the malt. Cascade and Centennial hops were added during the boil and whirlpool, and then we dry hop with Amarillo and Simcoe. So Cascade, Centennial, Amarillo, and Simcoe should give you an idea of the flavor profile here. I'm guessing, without having tried it yet, a whole lot of citrus, a whole lot of mixed citrus, and some tropical fruit notes blended in there. 6.3, they describe it as a West Coast. So let's pick it up. Using my Tie and Timber tulip here. Oh, damn. So what's interesting is the citrus, right? So you've got that mixed citrus, but it comes at you in a couple different ways. You've got you feel a whole lot of orange zest on the nose, but you also feel a whole lot of orange because of those really are kind of two different aromas going on. You feel the herbal notes of the zest, while you get the actual citrus fruit of orange and pineapple. And just a little bit of sweetness, almost like a honey-like notion there. Anyway, cheers. Oh, that's beautiful. West Coast IPAs, they're interesting, aren't they? Especially because of their evolution, right? What we used to call a West Coast, a decade ago, is different than what's referred to as a West Coast now. Many old-timers like me refer to what's currently called a West Coast as more of a San Diego-style IPA. And I hate to refer to 6.3 as being light on the ABV, but if we're going for an actual West Coast style IPA, it is a tad lower than many. Many are upwards of 7, going between 7.5. Between 7 and 7.5 is what I meant to say. However, having said all that, this beer is absolutely gorgeous. It does what you expect it to do. A lot of sweet citrus notes up front, combined with citrus and some stone fruit in the middle. I'm going to say somewhere between peach and apricot. And then again, we break into those more herbal citrus notes. Grapefruit zest, orange zest kind of comes up on the back end. That cleans it all up and gives you just enough to linger, enough to make it hoppy, but not necessarily bitter. And I think that's the confusion that a lot of people have. Is it's not necessarily bitter, but it does linger a little bit. You're going to feel it for a second there. Anyway, so yeah, I decided welcome to the pub. You're at the pub with a beer whisperer. If I forgot to say that for my opening sentence. You're at the pub, man. The reason I decided to play some Legs Diamond, I have a mix of artists that have given me permission to use their stuff. But I've been trying to showcase certain artists lately. Yesterday I showcased some Delta Moon. But today I saw a post from Legs Diamond on a social media site, let's say, that gave people permission to use their songs or image or whatever. The caveat being is that if you do, they do have the right to then use your interpretation of. And what I say to the folks at Legs Diamond, hey man, if there's anything here you want to use, if I've left anything, if there is anything usable, you are welcome to it. I tell you, I first became, although they were a band that started in the 70s. I first became familiar with them in the early 80s. There was a guitar player in a band I was in. Adjust that camera just a little bit. There's a guitar player in a band I was in who was a big fan, and that's how I learned, and I became a fan that way. And I spent a lot of time in the Hollywood clubs back in the early to mid 80s, I guess I should say. I was a wannabe player, but I lacked talent. But I did love going to the shows at the time. Saw a lot of bands before they really, hit their stride or hit the big time, whichever you want to refer to it as. I mean, Great White, Motley Crue, Metallica. I saw a lot of these guys when they were just showcase clubs or showcase bands or bands playing in showcase clubs. Is what I meant to say. And Legs Diamond being one of them. Of course, they'd already had a record deal at the time, but they did play the clubs back then. But since we're trying to really with the situation we've all got going right now, I've been really trying to take I've been doing a virtual pub long before it became mandatory, but I like to integrate music and because if we were in a pub together, we'd be talking about the music, the beer, but it's not just about the beer. It's the total package, man. Everything you and I would do in a pub. We might talk religion, politics. We might talk about the music. So for me, that's important to really pull the music and the drink together because that was my upbringing, right? I love having that music in the background. Not necessarily so loud that you can't hear anything else, but I love hearing that music. Anyway, we're about at the end. Time to wrap this one up, but it's a damn fine beer. It is. It is what they do at Tie and Timber. They're kind of I was going to say that wrong. I don't want to necessarily say they're a niche brewery, but I don't know. I think there's certain styles of IPAs they do. They knock it out of the park. They do the same thing with sours and then pastry beers. But it's almost like they have little sections of beers that they do, and they always knock them out of the park. So there you go. Thanks, guys, at Tie and Timber. I hope you're making it through the apocalypse. Anyways, I digress. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, pervert wisdom, and if you like a big citrus punch, this one isn't going to disappoint. I did mention earlier before I had it, you might get some tropical fruit notes, and you might, but I will say what you're going to get first and foremost is a lot of citrus. For me, it was a combination of orange and tangerine with some grapefruit in there. You're going to find some other things, like I said, some stone fruit in the middle, but really, it's a citrus machine. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, pervert wisdom, and cheers. All around good guy. Cheers, y'all.